Yeah, and my Catholic faith is important to me because it's the foundation of who I am. Just going out into the world and, after growing up, being catechized and going to the Catholic school and Catholic church since I was a kid, I didn't really realize the impact that made on me until my wings grew and I flew a little bit and I got out in the real world, and there's a lot of different cultural poles to take you in a lot of different directions. And I think if you don't have that strong foundation in who you are and who Christ designed you to be, it's really easy to get pulled in certain different directions. So for me, that's where I experienced it, through hardships in my life, through different things in chasing a career, through physical injury and disappointment, all those things. My faith was always steady, and it was always kind of the rock in my life. And then just seeing in my own family how, my father and his siblings, so my aunts and uncles, and how everybody cared for my grandparents later in life, and how important the faith was to my grandparents in different stages of life, through all different ups and downs, that come up in this world. That has been such an important unifying factor in our family. It's been, played out in our community at large. It's just served to reinforce, that this is what God intended. To me, humility means a number of things, but one, it's removing you and your own selfishness from a lot of the decisions that we make in life, right? I think so often, we get caught up in a world of immediate gratification. What does it mean for you? And, you hear a lot from culture about doing things that make you happy. Well, humility is recognizing that it's bigger than you. And I think, in that sense, it's really cool to think about St. Joseph and think about him as a man and going, wow, Mary, this person I'm close to, she's now pregnant. She is going to birth the Son of Man. Like, that's a wild concept, and what a cool response to that call in his life, and humble leadership, saying, yes, this is now, it's probably was not his plan setting out, but now all of a sudden this is where he sees himself in life and believes this is where God called him to be, and accepting that call. And that's humility. That's a tremendous example of humility. I also think it's really important being able to recognize and hold yourself accountable, and know that you're not above the situation. Being graceful, just the way you communicate, not talking down to people, treating everybody the same, everybody that you come across in all different walks of life. Ultimately, I think at its core, humble servant leadership is what we're called to be as Christian men. And I think humility works in where we know, because we're Christian, we're not better or more worthy, or the people, we're not elevated to a certain status and we should live our lives a certain way. I think to be a Christian is to acknowledge our faults, but to continually seek to improve upon who we are. And I think back to what Matthew Kelly says all the time about trying to become the best version of yourself, and I think that continual seeking to improve who you are helps you be the father, the brother, the husband, the priest, the deacon, the servant that God calls us to be in so many ways. So just continually seeking that call, praying on it, discerning what exactly that means to you, but it's rooted in humble servant leadership. Yeah, this is a heavy question. Authentic manhood, I think, means a lot of things, and I do think it's important that we're having this conversation, because right now, just from culture, a lot of young men and older men, frankly, are confused at exactly what that means to be a man. And you hear these terms thrown at us: toxic masculinity. What is masculinity? The blurring of the lines between the masculine and the feminine in culture today. And I think it's really important to reinforce what that ought to look like. And so that's something that's a continual journey. I think we're looking to find. God created man for a certain purpose on this earth. I think as a father, as a parent, you're a protector, a provider. I think those are some of the things that are really important. I think you're a communicator, a problem solver. and you're doing all those things in such a humble way. But I think that role of being a provider, protector, and problem solver is something that's really important, and I think that's what God intended.